So, with the precious flowers and roses in my tilma, I started walking towards the bishop's house in Mexico City. At first, the gatekeepers would not allow me to enter into his house, but I sat down and waited, and finally they let me in and allowed me to enter into the bishop's residence. The interpreter was there along with other witnesses. I think there were around 24 people or so in that room. I stood in front of everyone and unfurled my tilma, and the roses came tumbling out. There was a sweet perfume in the air, and to my astonishment, the bishop and everybody present in the room knelt down. I wondered why. I looked down, and on my tilma was imprinted the image of Our Lady exactly as I had seen her. The bishop now believed. He untied the tilma from my neck and placed it in his private chapel. Word spread around, crowds gathered at the bishop's house to see the tilma. He then took it and placed it in the cathedral, where many people came to see her image and pray to her. The bishop asked me to show the place where Mother Mary wanted a chapel to be built. And so I took him to the foot of Mount Tepeyac Hill and showed him. And this was the place where the chapel was built. This was where Mother Mary wanted the chapel to be built. My friends and the people that I knew helped to build this church, and they did so in a record 2 weeks. We went to see my uncle too. He was cured and well and sitting outside the house. He said that Mother Mary had appeared to him and cured him. She told me that she had put an image of her on Juan Diegos' tilma, and that she was to be named and called Santa Maria de Guadalupe. On the 26th of December 1531, the sacred image was brought from the cathedral in Mexico City to this new chapel that had been built in a record 2 weeks. We came in a big procession. Even Hernan Cortes was there. There were a lot of my fellow people in the procession. They were singing and dancing. When he was dancing, a fellow was injured by a spear in the neck. He bled profusely and was near death. His friends took him and placed him in front of the image inside the chapel and prayed to Mother Mary. The bleeding stopped and he was cured, and he got up on his feet. Many of my fellow men converted to the Catholic faith. I asked the bishop permission, and I was built a small house beside the chapel. And that cross marks the site where my house was. My uncle also lived with me. I lived here for 17 years till 1548. My uncle died before me, and he was buried here. When I was alive, numerous pilgrims came to see me and the sacred image. I told them about my meetings with Mother Mary. I told them about the roses in the top of Tepeyac Hill. I told them how she had rearranged those flowers and roses on my tilma. I also told them about my meeting with the bishop and how Mother Mary's image was imprinted on the tilma. Within the span of a few years, all my fellow men were converted to the Catholic faith. After I died, I was buried here along with my uncle in this chapel. So here ends my story, and I hope that you have found it useful. Our Lady of Guadalupe, pray for us. Saint Juan Diego, pray for us.